The sky split open with a crack of thunder, so violent it rattled the windows of our sleepy suburban street, Pine Hollow Lane. Rain lashed the pavement, turning it into a mirror of chaos, and I, Ethan Caldwell, stood drenched on my front porch, clutching a wrench, staring down the silhouette of a man sabotaging my daughter's dream in the dead of night. Lightning flared, illuminating his face Cliff Ramsey, the HOA's enforcer, his buzz cut glistening, eyes narrowed like a predator caught mid-hunt. He froze, a pair of pliers in one gloved hand, my garden hose in the other, its severed end spewing water into the mud. "You're done, Cliff," I shouted over the storm, my voice steady despite the rage boiling inside. He bolted, vanishing into the shadows, but not before I caught the glint of panic in his eyes. This wasn't just about a kid's pool anymore. This was war. It started 2 weeks earlier, on a blistering July afternoon, when my 7-year-old daughter, Mia, let out a squeal that could have woken hibernating bears. She just cannonballed into her new inflatable Paola du La 20 neon green turtle with a sprinkler snout, parked proudly in our front yard. I was sprawled on a sagging lawn chair, sipping iced tea, the condensation dripping onto my faded t-shirt, when I saw her. Margaret Hensley, the Pine Hollow HOA president, stormed down the sidewalk like a one-woman cavalry charge. Her graying hair was yanked into a bun so tight it looked painful, her clipboard gripped like a knight's shield, her lips pursed into a thin, judgmental line. Mia's splash hadn't even settled before Margaret unleashed a wail that sent a neighbor's cat sprinting into a hedge. "This is an outrage," she bellowed, jabbing a manicured finger at the turtle pool as if it were a biohazard. Mia, soaked and grinning, tilted her head in confusion. I set my tea down, my jaw tightening. "Margaret, it's a kid's pool. What's the problem?" I asked, keeping my tone calm, though I could feel the heat rising in my chest. She didn't blink. "Violation 4.1b of the HOA, Covenant Yard fixtures, must uphold community elegance. This monstrosity disrupts the aesthetic harmony." Her voice quivered with righteous fury. I glanced at the pool. A grinning turtle, 2 plastic starfish bobbing inside, Mia's abandoned flip-flops nearby. Elegance? This was suburban Indiana, not Versailles. Before I could respond, she stepped onto my lawn like she owned it, her sensible loafers sinking slightly into the grass. "Furthermore," she snapped, flipping her clipboard, "it's a reflective surface. A glare hazard. Someone could lose an eye." I almost laughed, but her next line killed the urge. "And standing water? Mosquitoes, Ethan. Dengue fever. Zika. Are you trying to start an epidemic?" Mia, now clutching a towel, pressed against my leg, her brown eyes wide with that heart-sinking look kids get when they think they've broken the world. I rested a hand on her shoulder, my pulse hammering. "It's a pool, Margaret. We drain it nightly. No one's catching Zika." But her smirk said she'd already won round 1. She scribbled something, tore off a pink violation notice, and slapped it into my hand. 48 hours to remove it, or fines begin. Good day. That night, as Mia sat cross-legged in the empty pool, clutching a popsicle, she looked up at me, her voice small. "Are we in trouble, Daddy?" I knelt beside her, brushing a damp curl from her face. "No, kiddo. Margaret's the one in trouble. She just doesn't know it yet." Mia giggled, her worry easing, and I forced a smile, but inside I was seething. This wasn't about rules. It was about control. Margaret didn't like our messy, joyful life-me unkempt lawn, Mia's laughter, our defiance of her beige empire. By morning, I was summoned to an emergency HOA meeting at the Pine Hollow Clubhouse, a squat brick building that smelled of stale coffee and bureaucracy. The board sat like a jury in a bad courtroom drama. Margaret at the center, her arms crossed, flanked by 4 others. Carl Jensen, a retired mechanic with a permanent sunburn, gave me a nod, his eyes apologetic. The others, Ellen Price, Vince Harlow, and a mousy woman named Diane, stared at their hands or the table. "Mr. Caldwell," Margaret began, her tone dripping with authority, "we're here to address your unauthorized aquatic installation." I lean back, crossing my arms. It's a temporary pool for my kid. How's it different from Carl's windmill or Diane's flamingo statues? Diane flinched, but Margaret's glare could have melted steel. Those are tasteful, she snapped. Your turtle is a carnival stunt. I tried reason. It's not permanent. It's not structural. Neighbors have flags, gnomes, basketball hoops. You approved a live, laugh, love sign last week. Carl coughed, hiding a grin, but Margaret leaned forward. This isn't about signs. It's about standards. Pine Hollow isn't a water park. She slid a highlighted bylaw across the table, a neon yellow assault on my eyes. Uniformity, she intoned. The vote came fast, 3-2, pool banned, 24 hours to comply, Dulaw 75 daily fines. Carl and Diane dissented, but Margaret's allies held firm. As I left, Carl caught my arm. She's got it out for you, Ethan. Watch your back. At home, I found Mia drawing turtles on the driveway with chalk. Can we keep it? She asked, her voice hopeful. I hesitated, then grinned. Not this one, kiddo, but we're going to do something bigger. Her eyes lit up, and that spark fueled me. Margaret wanted war? I'd give her a revolution. That night, nursing a beer on the back porch, I stared at our sloping backyard, the gears in my mind turning. A pool was too small. I needed something undeniable, something that screamed joy so loudly it'd rattle Margaret's clipboard. By dawn, I had it. A slip-and-slide to end all slip-and-slides, a twisting, sprawling masterpiece that'd make water parks jealous. I called my brother, Nate, who ran an event rental business. Got any tarps? Big ones. I asked. He laughed, sensing trouble. Canceled a foam party last week. I've got rolls of heavy-duty VYNYL. Free if you pick 'em up. What's the plan? I grinned. Mutiny. By noon, I was in the garage, sketching on poster board. A 3-stage slide, foam-padded launch, hairpin curves, a ramp into a splash zone. The yard's natural slope was perfect speed without danger. Friends rallied. Jake, a carpenter, brought PVC pipes. Sarah, a nurse, donated foam scraps for padding. We worked like conspirators, hiding tarps behind the shed when Margaret's silver sedan cruised by, her eyes narrowing. I waved, all teeth, and she sped off, scribbling. Let her plot. I was building a legend. Day 2, the slide took shape. Stage 1, a launch platform, cushioned for safety. Stage 2, a serpentine descent, tubes duct-taped into curves, tested with buckets of water. Stage 3, a ramp angled into a shallow splash pool, recycled from the turtle's frame. Neighbors' blinds twitched. A jogger slowed, snapping photos. I pictured Margaret's face red, apoplectic, and my grin widened. By day 3, she was back, VY soar low, clipboard out. Unauthorized landscaping, she barked, eyeing the tarps. I leaned on a shovel, casual. Temporary yard enhancement, Margaret. No bylaws against it. Check in myself. Her jaw worked, no comeback ready. We'll see, she hissed, stalking off. I knew she'd escalate, but I was ready. The plan grew, a block party rebellion, Mia's Splash Fest, set for Saturday. I posted flyers on local Facebook groups, expecting a dozen kids. By nightfall, 50 RSVPs flooded kids, parents, even a taco truck offering free slushies. Jake's cousin, a DJ, volunteered speakers. Carl, defecting from the HOA's ranks, offered his industrial cooler for drinks. Heard it's the event of the decade, he said, winking. Don't let her ruin it. That night, I found the sabotage hose cut, pump tampered. Mia's friend Zoe had set up a trail cam for a school project. It caught Cliff at 1 a.m., gloves on, tools gleaming. I sent the footage to the board, the local paper, and every neighbor's inbox. Comments erupted, trespassing, vandalism. I added floodlights and a motion sensor that blared Sweet Caroline if anyone got close. Cliff wouldn't dare return. Friday hummed with anticipation. Mia, in glitter paint, made a Splash Fest banner, taping it to the fence. Kids texted hourly, parents dropped off beach chairs, and Carl hauled over a second cooler. I tested the slide, tweaking angles, hosing it down until it gleamed. At dusk, I found a note taped to my mailbox. Cease or face legal action. Emha. I laughed, tucking it into a drawer. Margaret was grasping at straws. By Saturday morning, the air crackled with excitement. Families arrived at 9 a.m., coolers thumping, kids in swimsuits clutching towels. The slide shone, sprinklers arcing rainbows, foam buckets ready. Mia, in a tie-dye rash guard and goggles, declared herself slide captain, organizing kids into lines with a plastic whistle. Nate set up a dunk tank, daring parents to take a plunge. Carl, now fully Team Caldwell, tossed water balloons, his grin infectious. At 11 a.m., Margaret arrived, megaphone in hand, flanked by Vince and Ellen. Violation, she blared. Shut it down. Kids paused, parents bristled. Then Mia, my fearless girl, grabbed a super soaker and nailed Margaret's VY sore with a perfect shot. The crowd gasped, then roared. Let them slide, Jake's wife shouted, and the chant spread. Margaret lunged for the hose, slipped on wet grass, and Gloria's slide crashed onto an inflatable dolphin, skidding into the splash pool with a squawk. Phones came out, recording her soggy flop, her megaphone sparking as water hit it. Vince hauled her up, muttering apologies, but Ellen's smirk said she was done with Margaret's reign. The party exploded, parents slid, kids shrieked, Carl dunked Nate to cheers. A news van rolled up, drawn by the chaos. Mia, dripping and proud, told a reporter, "It's about fun, not rules. Nobody should stop that." Her clip went viral, paired with Margaret's dolphin dive. By dusk, Margaret called an HOA meeting on my lawn, her hair still damp, her authority crumbling. She demanded fines, sanctions, even a VY tie-in. Vince quit on the spot, joining our taco line. Ellen switched sides, proposing a bilvririt. Margaret, defeated, vanished days later, resigned, sold her house, gone. Jake took over as HOA president, slashing rules to the bone. We rewrote the covenants. Clear, fair, slide-friendly. Mia started Captain Splash, renting party gear, her piggy bank, now a college fund. Margaret's buyers, a young couple with twins, built a jungle gym and a pool. No clipboard in sight. 5 years later, Pine Hollow's a different place. Mia and I spoke at a national HOA reform conference. Our story is spark for change. My lawn's still patchy, but every scar's a badge proof we fought for joy and won. Mia, now 12, still sketches turtles, each one a reminder. Rules serve life, not fear. And somewhere, I hope Margaret's found a place where laughter doesn't feel like a threat. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this VY Deo with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next VY Deo.